We're going to go ahead and get straight to the video. I'm not going to hold you up with any intro or any talking or nothing like that. Let's just get straight into it. Why vocal presets are a scam. How to make them fit your voice and mic. Now, this video is basically going to be exposing everything you've been told about vocal presets. There's a lot of people out there that make presets and put absolutely no effort and actually nothing inside of the preset and try to make a whole lot of money off of you. And that's not what I'm here for. I'm here to show you guys how to actually work around that and even probably make your own presets. Possibly you might even learn how to do that from this video. This is going to be how to tweak presets, but you're basically going to be learning a lot more than just tweaking some knobs around. So like I said, some people only make them to make quick money and profit off of you. I have nothing to hide. I'm actually showing you guys step by step exactly what to do to tweak these presets. Vocal presets don't work because they're not made for you. It's so simple. I could literally end the video right here, right now. Like, that's all you really need to know. Vocal presets aren't made for you. They're not made to fit your voice frequencies and your microphone types and all that. Like the environment of your room and everything, it's not made for you. They're designed from the person that actually made them. That sounds crazy. Now over here, this is my actual vocal preset that I use. And this is not going to be the same thing that you're using probably. It's not going to have the same settings inside of it. Obviously, we're not robots. You know, we're not all the same. This is my EQ that I use right now. This is not going to work for you, most likely. Now, it's a general EQ, so sure, it should work like 90% of the time, but sometimes it's just not going to work. I mean, it's not. Let's get more into that. There's two big differentiators. Your own unique vocal frequencies, different microphones. Now, these are the two biggest ones, 100%. Everybody has different voice types. So somebody might have some Squidward nasally type. I don't know why they would have that, but somebody might have that type of voice. And the frequencies are going to be a whole lot different when you're EQing it. And then different microphones, of course. This microphone is going to sound a whole lot different than Neumann. You know, I mean, just random microphones. Akg 2020. It's going to sound a whole lot different. So you're going to have to treat it differently. That's the whole point. What do these have in common? The need for different EQs, compressors, and general mixing. I talked about the EQs already, but the compressors, that's a different story because that has a little bit more to do with the performance. So Drake's EQ may look something like this. You get a boost, and then you get the last boost up here in the high end. This is not going to be the same thing that Kendrick puts on his voice. It's just not going to be the same. And this is Kendrick's EQ. We go, whoop, and then we go down, and then we go back up. Now we got we got the Drake Kendrick. I had to do. I don't know who else to do. I tried to. They not like us. Okay, and there's also bonus differentiators too. Your environment, your performance, and the beat context. Your environment basically just makes up wherever you're recording at. If you have treatment, like I have some treatment in my closet that I'm in currently, and I'm grateful to even have this big of a closet. I don't know how closets like this exist, but we got your performance, which is also going to affect how close you are to the microphone. And what I like to do is I like to do like the telephone type of gesture, and then put your pinky in the middle of your microphone at the top, and then put your mouth right here at the end. And that's like about how far you should be from your mic, how close you should be from your mic. You shouldn't be like all up in the mic like this, but you shouldn't be like all the way back here. So your performance does definitely impact how you tweak your presets and how you compress everything, and just the general mixing overall. And then finally, the beat context is definitely one of the big, I can't even talk. It's definitely one of the big important things that you're going to be messing around with, because beats also have frequencies in them. Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. So you're going to be having beats that have crazy high end, or, you know, just different instruments in there that's going to have different frequencies basically. And you're going to have to mix your voice around that. So yeah, let's move on. Worst case scenario, your preset is just built terribly. Like I said in the beginning of the video, some people do not care about you if you succeed or not. They don't really care. Like, I mean, you got... I can't even talk in this video. We got what I call here the vocal chain of doom. 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 All right, we got one basic EQ, one basic compressor, and then 1 million special effects. It sounds like a Mr. Beast video. Today, guys, we got 1 million. Some people don't care to put in real effort when building presets, or just don't learn how to properly design them. I mean, that's the reality. Vocal presets especially have gotten bad reputation because there's a lot of people out there that just don't care. They just throw something together that sounds decent enough for them, but they don't actually think about what it's going to sound like on your voice, really. That's how I design my presets personally. So your equipment may be holding you back. Maybe it's not just the preset. So in this scenario, it's actually your equipment possibly that could be holding you back, not the preset. Your equipment could be like a trash USB microphone. Like, USB microphones still work, but if you got like a really bad cheap microphone for like, $5 or something like that, it's probably not going to sound the best. Or like if you're using like BandLab or something, it's probably not going to sound the best. So that's another thing. I think you should invest in yourself 100%. You should invest in better equipment. And if you're really trying to take this seriously, if you're just doing it for fun, like just for whatever, you could do whatever you want. It doesn't really change much, But if you're actually trying to make it somewhere, decently somewhere with your music, or you just want to make better music, then I think you should. So next, how to actually tweak your vocal presets. This is what the ideal vocal chain looks like for me. You got your EQ, compression. You got your EQ, compression, multi-band compression, sound godizer, reverb. This is not in order, by the way. This is just thrown on here. Distortion, flangus, limiter, convolver, and delay. And how I like to think of this is that it's puzzle pieces that you put together and you make the whole picture. You make the whole sound. This is how it's supposed to work. You problem solve. You find what works, you find what doesn't work, and you put it together, and you make a good... I don't even know what analogy to use for this, but all of this is connected to your mic and your voice, basically. Those are the two big factors, pretty much. So I'm going to go over what each plugin means in simple terms, and let's open the FL Studio and start tweaking. Not that type of tweaking. We're not tweaking. We're going to open up one of my vocal presets. All right, so we got the Bryson Tiller vocal preset in here. I'm gonna go ahead and get a beat too. That's all right. We're gonna use that one. Basically, what we're gonna do is we're gonna open a brand new preset. One of my presets actually. And if you guys are interested, stay tuned for the end of the video. I'm gonna show you guys more about this. So the thing about these presets is that sometimes they're not gonna sound perfect straight out the box. Yeah. So, yeah. Right off the bat, I heard it was way too cut off in the threshold. At least right in this situation, right? My microphone's kind of cut down a little bit. Yeah. Okay, so let's just restart. Let's restart the preset. Turn this back to normal. Turn this to normal. I'll leave this alone, okay? Turn the reverb and delay off. Put both the EQs together. Turn this up a little bit. Okay, so you can hear me. Turn the distortion off. And yeah, now we got a foundation. Let's just start off. Let's start over. Complete start over. And I know I said this was tweaking, but I'm gonna show you guys how to also get this foundation yourself. So what we want to do, there's a technique, it's called frequency sweeping, right? So you scroll down on your you scroll down on the scroll wheel on your mouse until it's about 10 to 20%, right? And you go halfway up, okay? Not all the way up. Otherwise, everything is going to sound like trash. Like, it's going to sound buns, bro. So what I'm doing is I'm starting from the low end area, which is the bass.
Basic, you know what bass is if you listen to music. So we go up a little bit, boom, boom, boom. Let's play with the beat. Yeah, yeah. Oh, we gotta put the key. Yeah, yeah. Make sure to put the key, bro. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So you wanna let me know. Now I notice it's too much flangus right now, so let's turn it down. Let's turn it down right now. I like this. I like how it's sounding. Let's turn it down real quick though. Let's turn it down real quick though. Scroll down. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't really like this. Now, how you determine where you want to cut is if it sounds super harsh and super just extra, cut it out. If you don't like it, cut it out. Now, it's hard to say what if I don't like every frequency, right? But if you can clearly tell that it sounds bad, it sounds off, take it out. If you're not sure about it, just keep it, okay? Because most likely, if you can't tell if you want to cut it or not, just keep it anyway. Because what happens is if you cut too much out of the frequencies in here, you're going to take your voice away. You're going to be flat. Let's see what happens. Look, I'm going to make it completely all the way. You see, like, I'm dead now. I'm literally dead. There is no voice left because I have all the frequency gone, okay? That's basically that simple, okay? All right, let's keep sweeping. And another technique you can do is you can go down. So you can go down here and sweep for stuff that you know for sure you don't want. And you can do the same thing. If you're trying to boost the clarity up, then you can find what frequency you want to boost. And we'll get to that later too. So yeah. I'm hearing kind of here. Yeah. No. Let's take that out. Yeah, shine tonight, sometime tonight. Make some time tonight. I don't really like, it's not like speaking to me, you know? It's not like, please remove me. So, yeah, Shawty wanna tell me, let's boost this a little bit. I want some clarity, some presence. Yeah, not too much though, not too much. Just because you don't want to do anything in extreme. You basically want to mix in portions. You don't want to mix the whole thing. Like, the EQ is not going to do all the work for you, okay? Everything has to work together. So if you're missing 10 puzzle pieces, you're going to miss the whole picture, okay? You're not going to have a whole puzzle piece set or whatever the heck and have 10 of them missing and make it, you know, you're not going to see the whole picture. That's the whole point, okay? Everything has to do its own part. We're not boosting 10 dBs of, you know, high end or, I mean, if you need to do that, you can do that, but you get the idea. We're not about to freaking, you know, all the way down here cut. So, I think this sounds good right now. So, yeah. Basic summary of the EQ. Cut what you don't like. Cut what sounds bad. We're cutting the mud, the boxiness. Basically what sounds bad to you, okay? Because it's going to be different for everybody. We can use the frequency sweeping technique. Don't go all the way. Don't go extreme, okay? Keep it simple. Basically, the reason, if you don't know why we cut out this right here, is because frequencies in the beat clash with your vocal frequencies, okay? So if I'm talking right here, you could see all that extra stuff that you don't need. All that extra mud down there, okay? So I usually go to like 120 to 130. It just depends though. There's no specific set range that you have to do. It just depends. The sweet spot that I like to do when I'm EQing is I like to go like negative 3 dB to like 4 dB. So just so I'm not cutting too much, but so I'm cutting enough to it actually affects the mix, okay? So you boost stuff that you like, that you want to add to the mix, cut stuff you don't like. It's simple, okay? The compression is pretty simple. The threshold, if you live in a house, if you have a house, okay? If you know what a house is, it's the roof. So basically I'm saying to my vocals, I'm saying, I want you to go all the way up until here. And that's it. You're cutting off. You can't escape, okay? So we're not like holding hostages or anything, okay? Promise. But um basically the lower that you go with the negatives, the more you're cutting off. Okay? You hear how it does that? So you're saying, I don't want you to go past this limit, okay? And when your vocals get too loud, that just means that you're containing them from going too loud. You're saying when you get loud up here, come back down here. The main reason of a compressor is so you balance the vocals. It compresses the vocals, but it's balancing it to make it all even. So you don't have parts that just like jump out of nowhere and then like parts that are just way too quiet. You know, you're making everything even. So the attack is just how fast or how slow you want to come in. You want to just freaking start rapping or singing or whatever. So the lower that you have this, the more squashed it's going to be. The more punchy it's going to be, okay? So I usually have mine turned up around like 60 to 100ish, just because I do more singing stuff, so it's not going to be, you know, all up close like rap music, you know. The release is basically how fast or how slow you want to cut off at the end, right? So what you want to do is I usually keep on around 2 to 300. That's a simple range, okay? The gain is pretty simple. All you do is just turn it up or turn it down. It's the volume, okay? It's the output gain. The type, if you're using FL Studio, I usually keep this on like medium, vintage, or hard. Pause. But I'm gonna keep it on vintage. I don't really know exactly what it does, but I like how it sounds. Okay. The ratio is basically so this is the output level. This is the volume basically. So the higher it goes up here, that means it's getting louder. This is the input. Okay. So the ratio, you see 1 to 1, 2 to 1, 4 to 1, 10 to 1, infinite. I think. Whatever the heck it's called. I'm not like a freaking mixing guru. I'm just showing you what works and just basically how to tweak presets, how to make stuff sound good. Basically, this is where you want it to limit, from my understanding.
Okay, guys, it's editor Sean VI here, and I'm not the best at explaining things, as you can see, but the ratio is technically just how aggressively it reduces the volume of the signal once it goes above a set threshold. As a ratio in 4 to 1 means every 4 decibels that comes in, it's going to only increase the output by 1 decibel. So a 1 to 1 basically is doing nothing. That's why you see the dotted lines.
So the lower you have the number, it's just gonna be like all the way up there. So in volume wise, anyways. So I usually keep mine around the middle. I keep mine around the middle, so it doesn't get too loud, but it's still containing the vocal. So I keep mine around like 4 to 6 to 7 to 8. So it really just depends, honestly. You could do whatever you want. I don't really hear that much of a difference sometimes. Unless I want to make it more like clear and more open, then yeah, sometimes I feel like it's doing a little too much sometimes, so I'll tone it down a little bit. But the main idea of tweaking, why I'm showing you so much and I'm going so in depth with everything, is because I really want to show you guys what you need to know to tweak. So now that you understand more of like what the thing does, you could say, "Oh, okay, my vocals are sounding more squashed, so I want to turn the attack up a little bit." Or if I say my vocals are sounding a little bit too compressed, or if I get loud, you know, it's taking too much of my vocal out. I want it to be more open. Then you just tone down on the threshold a little bit, open it back up. Okay, it's really simple. It's like if you say your vocals are too quiet, you understand that your vocals are too quiet. You turn it up on the fader or on the gain, whatever, you know? Same thing for the EQ. The EQ is basically like, it's pretty simple to understand, but most people overcomplicate it and they throw a million freaking nodes on there and they try to boost like a million and cut a million, you know? I've seen people literally take their EQ and just go all the way up here. Like, that doesn't fix anything. The Sound Godizer is basically a multiband compressor and saturation. Now, what saturation is it's basically distortion. If you've ever heard rock music, and you like turn it all the way to the max, and it's just like all in your face, like gritty and stuff. That's what distortion is, okay? So it's a combination of multi-band compression, and we're gonna get to that. But what I like to keep my sound guidizer on now, this preset is kind of old, but the tweaking is still the same. If you know what you're doing, and the longer you do this for, the better you're gonna get at it, 100%. If you just spend some time doing this, you're gonna get better, and you're gonna learn, okay? You're gonna learn what works and what doesn't work. You just gotta put in some type of work. Now, I usually keep mine on C or A now, but for this situation, we're gonna turn it down because it's crazy cranked up. Okay. The only reason I had it up all the way is because you hear how quiet it is. The distortion is simple. If you have a distortion on your stuff, okay, you can turn the pre up a little bit. You can turn the threshold down actually. So the threshold right here, let's just put it back on. Yeah. The threshold is the same thing as the compression. It's the same exact concept. See, watch when I turn it up. Boom, I'm cutting it. I'm cutting the ceiling down. So it actually makes it more distorted, if you can tell. So this is like more light sensitivity. This is just like, give it everything, bro. Give it everything right now. So if I turn the pre, that's just what is going into it. So if I turn it up, it's gonna get louder. Watch. So yeah. You see how I boosted the beginning? That's what's going into it. Okay. And I usually keep on like A or B. Yeah. B sounds pretty cool, but it sounds kind of staticky if you could tell. Yeah. And like I said earlier, do stuff incrementally. Don't do stuff super harsh. Don't turn the distortion halfway up unless the track requires it. If you're making like a freaking, a song that needs that in that context, then it's okay. That's the whole reason I talk about context and stuff like that. Because what works for something is not going to work the same for everything. That's the whole reason I brought up the whole analogy and all that. So let's turn this back down. I don't have room right now, so I'm going to delete the reverb and the delay. We're going to get to that later. And this basically makes more room while you could still add delay and reverb, but we'll get to that. So let's move this down here. And the sauce, bro, the sauce you guys need to add is a multi-band compressor. This is the sauce right here. Let's turn it up. Make sure all your knobs are up. Unless it's an effect, don't turn it all the way up. But if it's an effect, if it's a special effect, you don't necessarily need to turn it all the way up. But if it's a FX, if it's effect, turn it up. Make sure don't do this. Don't have it like 1%. Keep it up all the way. For like compressors and EQs, boom. Okay. Now this is basically an EQ and a compressor at the same time. So what this means is that you're compressing each range of the EQ. So instead of just saying, hey, compressor, do everything. Just compress everything. It doesn't matter what it is. This is saying, hey, I want you to do this in the bass. I want you to do this in the mid. I want you to do this in the high end, in the sound. So I want the lows. I want more warmth in my voice. Turn it up a little bit. I want my voice to kind of be more out there. Turn the mids up a little bit. Boom. Okay, so you kind of hear the difference as you're applying it. Okay, just mess with the knobs. It's simple. Don't be afraid to mess with something. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. It's okay. You're gonna make mistakes. That's how you learn. You learn faster. So basically what this is it's the range of the bands. See, when I hold this down, you can see the bands. And what I like to do sometimes is I like to turn this down just a little bit, not too much, until like you can kind of hear the lows have been cut out. Because that's what it is, it's the lows. And then you bring this back so it connects a little bit. Because all these have to be connected to work properly. At least when I mix, okay? So I like this sound right now. So it's not too bassy when I boost this up. It's not going to be super bassy, right? You hear the difference? It's just that bass. Do you understand? So when I bring this down right here, I'm no longer getting that upper bass. I'm just getting the lower bass. I'm not getting that boxy sound. I'm bringing it down here, so I'm only affecting that type of bass, okay? So if you guys feel like your vocals are too thin, you can bring this up right here. It's so simple. So simple. Let's turn this down. Yeah. The distortion, I always have my distortion at like 7%, like 10%, like usually really low. It's the same thing as a compressor. It's just affecting the entire frequency spectrum. That's it. Well, it's not the entire, but it's basically all the way into like 12K or 13K or whatever the heck. Right? So I don't even mess with the low band that much, really. The knee, like, I don't really mess with none of this, really. Unless you want your vocals to sound more thin, boom, turn the threshold down. Boom, boom. Turn it up if you want it to not affect as much. Boom. Easy. It's easy. It's easy. So what I do in the mids is I do the same thing on my regular compressor. I turn the attack up a little bit. Let's actually put this back on the beat again now. Let's see what this sounds like. Yeah. Shawty tryna top me now. Shawty tryna talk to me now. See, I noticed it was a little bit too much on the flange side, so I turned that down. Yeah, turn that down. Yeah, turn that down. Right now, right now. Right now, right now, right now, right now. Yeah, Shawty tryna tell me something. Okay, we got a good sound right now. I'm not gonna lie. And now, a good thing you can do if your vocals are sounding too SC, you can go in the threshold, boom, turn the threshold down. So what you're doing is you're cutting the ceiling. Like I said, you're bringing the roof down. Say, I can't escape. The roof is at my head now. So the high end is not going anywhere. It's not going to go past that. What I like to do when I'm mixing, go all the way to the extreme and then slowly bring it back. So right here, you could tell it's wrong. You could tell it doesn't sound right. And then you just bring it back slowly. Slowly. All right. And right here in the gain, if you want to boost the high end, you can boost it up. Boom. Easy. And the same thing here. If you want to make it more wide, boom. Make it more wide. Boom. Make it more narrow. So now it's only affecting that when you're doing it. Okay. Bring that back. So it's only affecting that when you bring it, when you boost it or cut it out. So yeah, nice. Let's bring the ratio. You can see at the top left here, you can actually see what you're doing. So you're not just like, what am I doing? I'd actually prefer that you just use the knobs, so you're using your ears. That's another tip for you guys. I'm just giving you guys sauce right now. If you guys don't know what sounds good, don't follow the numbers. Don't use your eyes when you're mixing. Use your ears. That's what they're for. If you didn't have ears, you wouldn't even know what the heck you're mixing. Like, try to make a song without even hearing what the song sounds like. You're not going to be able to really make anything. That's the point. When you're making a song and you're recording your vocals, you're not over here looking at the vocals. Like, you're using your ears to determine, okay, this sounds pretty good to me. And now another thing that you could also add too is you can add a Maximus to your preset. And basically, if your preset is sounding really harsh, which a lot of FL Studio presets do, you can go to de-essing and you could do it on narrowband or split band. Now, I like to do the narrowband. Just turn it on, boom, and you could turn it down right here. Oh, hold on. Yeah, I knew I wasn't hearing it. Okay, yeah. So you can hear it now. That's why I like to go extreme, because I know like something has to happen. If I do it like a little bit, I'm not gonna be able to tell. My ears are not gonna be able to tell. Nice. All right. And you can just leave this alone. You can actually use the Maximus, but in this case, we're just using it for a de-esser. We don't really need to affect much. And you can also do it here too. Turn this down, turn the threshold down, and then boom. But in this case, we're already doing it here, so we don't need that. So let's put that back to normal. All right, so we got some distortion for color. And yeah, I explained this too. I'm not gonna go too in depth with everything. I just want to show you guys what you need to know to be able to tweak presets. So if you guys feel like your vocals are too harsh and too S sounding, you could turn this down. You can turn the high end down. It doesn't matter where it's at. You can turn it down anywhere. Okay? And that's the point. I'm trying to teach you guys at least some fundamental of mixing, because if you don't understand what the heck this is even doing, you're not going to be able to tweak it. I can't just say, "Hey guys, tweak this up. Put this up and down. Like move this around." Like I can't say that. You're not going to know what the heck you're doing. Anybody can do that. That's the whole point of making this video. Anybody can just grab the knobs and start tweaking. If you don't know what you're doing, you're not going to be able to do it. Okay? So the flangus, what I like to do when I'm doing more R&B stuff is I like to turn it up a little bit more. I don't have it all the way to the max. It's not all the way. Okay? Just enough to where it's actually doing something to the final mix. I keep saying that. Keep that in mind. All this is working together. It's supposed to work together. Now, the fruity fast distortion, I went over that. Now, the flangus, how many... This is the order right here. How many voices there is, okay? So think about it as if you're in a choir, okay? If you're in a choir and there's 5 people surrounding you, that's how many voices there are, okay? That's the order. Now, if I say I want a whole lot of voices, I want it to sound wide as possible, then I'll put as many as I can, right? Okay? But if I want it to sound kind of narrow-ish, you could tell it's just like one voice. It sounds more like a flanger. So I like to keep it around 4-ish to 5-ish. Boom. Easy. The cross, so turn this down all the way, first of all, because you don't, who needs that? Unless you're using it for a creative purpose, then yeah. The depth, that's basically how deep it goes. That's pretty simple, pretty self-explanatory. The cross is how wide it is. I mean, that's all a flangus is. It just adds width. It adds stereo to your vocals. So instead of being like, yeah, it's just like right here in your face, you know? Boom. It's like, it's more wide. It adds more space. So if you put the cross here, it's super narrow, super closed in. That's why I like to have it all the way. Or you can do like a little in the middle or just like keep it normally. Boom. Dry, that's just your vocal without any effects at all. And the wet also is just the flangus. That's all it is. That's the wet. So I just turn this up a little bit, turn the wet up a little bit more. That's it. It's pretty simple to understand. The limiter. This is basically what I was saying. Look, the threshold, it's returned. I keep talking a lot about the threshold, but that's just because it applies here. So the threshold is literally the ceiling. Look at this. They even show a demonstration of like what you can actually see it, okay? Now, I know you shouldn't use your eyes when you're mixing, but since it kind of plays a part when you're mixing, you can use muscle memory and you can remember kind of like an area, a range of where you want to mix at, where you want to be at. I usually keep mine down here kind of low because if I come up here, it's going to cut me out all the way. See? Yep. So I keep it kind of low. You can see right here, that's like kind of the background noise. It's like purplish right there. All right. And there is a compressor on here too, but since we already have 2 compressors, let's not do too much, all right? And also the order of your plugins matter. So it matters. It matters where you put your plugins at, okay? Yeah, something. See, it sounds better with the S's right here, doesn't it? If I put it here, you might argue that it's just you, bro. Like you're just not doing it as hard. It definitely makes a difference where you put your plugins at. So what I like to do in my plugin order, cut stuff out, EQ, and then compress, and then add stuff after. Add your special effects at the end. Because after that, you can't put a compressor after the delay. At least, I mean, I don't know if you can, but I would never do that. I mean, so you remove stuff you don't like, you add some of the stuff you like in the EQ because it's an EQ. I mean, unless you did it here, but and then you compress it, and then you add your special effects like your flangus and all that. Okay, let's go back to the beat now. Yeah, yeah. Shawty tryna knock down. Shawty tryna talk me now. Shawty tryna talk to me nice, yeah. Shawty tryna talk to me nice, yeah. I'm not tryna talk to you nice, yeah. I'm not tryna talk to you nice, yeah. Alright, boom. And what you can also do is a little secret. You can do stereo separation. It's basically like a flangus, but it's different. Boom. Stereo separation. This might look different for you. I like to turn it all the way up for my ad-libs, but for the vocal, I just do it slightly, just so it's kind of putting out there, but it's kind of not. Especially for the R&B music, especially. You like to have your stuff kind of a little bit more wide. If you don't, that's fine. All right, now let's move to like the final steps, basically. I hope I've been going in depth, as much in depth as I can right here, and showing you guys why you do what you do, so that way you guys can see like, okay, I mean, I've used this example already, but now you guys know exactly like kind of what you need to tweak in a way, you know? You guys aren't going to be completely clueless when you're doing this. And in a way, you kind of should be a little clueless, because the more you do and the more you mess around with stuff, the more you're going to learn. 100%. 100%. All right. Now, one of the most important things why we have this room right here for these plugins is because we're sending this stuff to a different send, right? So all you want to do is open up the plugins, the reverb and the delay plugins in separate tracks. See, reverb, delay. And you want to go back to the original, go to the bottom right here, and then click on this arrow. Activates the sends. So now basically what you're doing is you're sending it to separate tracks, and it's doing its own thing, okay? It's not affecting your main vocals anymore. It's on its own, which is what I like most about that, is you have complete control over what you want to do with the reverb and delay. So with the reverb, turn the dry all the way down. Same with the delay. Turn the dry all the way down. Don't keep the dry up. That's the whole point why we're doing this. Okay? Now what I like to do is I keep the size around the middle-ish. Especially with R&B vocals, you kind of want the room to be kind of big, you know what I'm saying? So the low cut, let's turn this back up. Let's turn this back on. Now the low cut, that's the bass. The high cut, that's the high end. So you can see in the top left right here what exactly you're doing. So I just keep this around like where it sounds clear enough to where it doesn't have like low end in it, you know, like where it's kind of just clashing still. I like the reverb to be in its own space by itself. The separation, you can separate it, boom. That's why I like to use separation. Turn the wet all the way up on both. And I just turn these up a little bit, just enough. Do things to the extreme until you know it sounds wrong, okay? 100 till you know for a fact that it doesn't sound right. Now the delay, this is just basically, I'm not gonna go over it all. I'm not gonna go over everything. I'm just gonna go over the fundamentals you need to tweak. The decay is how long the reverb lasts. So if you want it to last longer, turn it up. If you want it to be shorter, turn it down. Yep, I like to keep it kind of right here, a quarter. I mean, it's not a quarter, but a little bit right here, half a quarter. If you do this a little bit, you're gonna be like, well, I don't really hear a difference. Turn it up. Yeah. So the cross is basically how wide I think it is. Yeah. That's what it sounds like. I mean, I don't know, actually. Even I don't know everything, okay? Also, you can like I said, you can affect the range that it's affecting. So I'm liking this. I'm liking around 9K. You can see it at the top left, the hint panel. So I'm liking around 9K. So the delay. I keep getting distracted, guys. I'm just trying to get in as in-depth as possible. So the time right here, I'm just gonna start. I'm just gonna play it. Yeah, time. Basically, let's turn this up. Turn it 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 up. The time is how fast it comes back. 4, it's delaying. 1, 2, 3. That's the count. That's the count. When I turn it to 8, it's slowing it by half. That's what it is. Make sure your stuff is on tempo, by the way. Alright, let's turn it up to 4. All the way. All the way. Boom, you can tell. The saturation is how much distortion you're adding to the delay itself. So, the delay. We did the time already. Ping pong effect is the sauce. This makes it go back and forth, left and right in your ears. Yeah. Yeah. Alright, keep pitch and tempo sync. The tempo sync basically makes it so where if you put the BPM, it's gonna match it. Yeah. Keep pitch. Now the tone, basically the tone is going to be your EQ, but your high end. So boom, see how bright it sounds? Yeah. Yeah. Now it's darker. Now I usually keep this around the middle. The level is how long you want it to last. Yeah. 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 Now I would never turn it up that loud on a main vocal. The cutoff is basically the same thing as the EQ. You turn it down if you want it to sound darker. Yeah, yeah. Turn it up, brighter. Yeah, yeah. Let's keep it around here. Let's keep it around here. Let's keep it around here. And so the main reason why things might be a little bit too harsh, maybe you're too close to the mic. Do this. Get the telephone effect. Telephone effect. Use the telephone gesture. Like put up to your ear like this, like you're talking. Put your pinky on the top of the mic. Like I have it. And then this is like a decent range where you should be. Okay? So I'm gonna start doing it right here. Yeah, shy trying to tell me like, whoa. Yeah, way not too far away from the mic. Way not too close. Hold on. Why they can't fly though? Why they can't fly though? Shy trying to act fly though. So that basically kind of fixes that S sound. Because when you're too close, that means the gain is too close to the mic. You're too close to the mic. Shy trying to tell me now. So if you're too far, you can always turn up the mic. Turn up the mic just a little bit though. No, I'm trying to make some cash, I'm trying to make some dough.
Alright guys, well thank you for watching. There's also going to be a pre-sale going on, link in the description. And what this is, it's going to be a community for you guys and an all-in-one solution to everything music related that I can, possibly talk about. You're basically going to get all of the vocal presets from my website. They're 27 each, right? But you're only going to get them for 47. One-time purchase forever. Okay? In this pre-sale, anyway. It's not going to be 47 in the future. That's why you got to lock in your price. And there's going to be way more added in the future, of course. So you got to lock in your price. You get all these presets. All this would cost you a lot of money. But that's why I'm doing this, because I actually care about, I'm not trying to scam you guys or make a whole bunch of money off of you guys. I just actually want to help you as much as I can while, obviously still, being supported in a way. So in the future, we're going to have the artist mastery. We're going to have all types of, the best way that you can make music better, faster, easier, and basically speedrun making music, making songs, and a whole bunch of tools that you can use for your music. We got mixing, basically everything that I do to make my vocals sound good, and just a general rule of thumb that you can use when you're mixing vocals, and to get your stuff sounding really good. We're gonna have a bunch of AIs and stuff like that. 80 stems for mixing practice. We're gonna have cheat sheets in there. This is still a work in progress. For this type of stuff, fan base mastery. This is one thing I'm gonna be working on for you guys. How to market yourself, how to promote your music, how to do all of that, how to connect, how to make music videos, all of that. Okay, and I'm gonna be doing that to my music, and I'm gonna be showing you how to do that and helping you guys out, giving you as much knowledge as I can. Basically, that's the whole point. So when you join, this is gonna be the most important part for you guys. You're going to get the tutorials. You're going to get this video right here, obviously, how to tweak presets. And you're going to get the vocal preset zip file. You just download the file, and you have all 200 presets, all to yourself. You get the all-in-one plugin. You see, you could tweak the EQs of your voice. You could tweak the lows, the mids, the clarity, the air, all in one knob. It's just one slider. That's it. You get an ad-lib muffle. So basically, all you have to do is click on this button right here at the bottom, vocal/ad-lib, and it switches the mode to ad-lib mode to vocal mode. And you can mess with the ad-lib muffle, basically the high end, like I said, and the telephone effect, which is a cool effect that you can add to your ad-libs. And you can use the SFX too. We got special effects. We got a harmony. We got a flanger. We got a bit crush. We got a filter. We got a demon/angel effect. Like if you've ever heard of the ad-lib effect, then that's basically what it is. Helicopter effect, ghost effect, glitch effect. Guys, I mean, this is insane. Who do you know is out here actually giving you guys this for such a low price? Like, I could go ahead and just keep this on my store and, try to make as much money from everything, but I genuinely want to help you guys out as much as I can. I want to give you guys as much as I can. And that's something you don't see often. That's something you don't see a lot. So we got effects right here. We got the volume. We got the distortion. We got the warmth, the de-essing, the threshold, the chorus, the squash, noise remover, reverb, delay, and then some extra reverb and delay effects that you can do. Why this is a pre-sale is because I want you guys to be able to lock in your price before it gets up there. I'm not sure how much I'm actually going to charge anyways, but it's going to be more than $47 because what I'm providing you guys, I want to make sure that I'm only attracting the best people for this. I don't want a bunch of, cheap freebie seekers. I want guys that are actually serious about this. And the way that you show that you're serious is when you invest something into it. And when you invest something, that means you're going to go all out on it, or you're going to at least try to put some type of effort in. You're not just going to get something for $10 and then just forget about it 10 years down the line. This is something I really want you guys to take seriously if you really want this. And then there's also one-on-one VIP tier that you can get. Basically custom presets, custom mixing, a live coaching call, Q&A call, anything that you need. Literally anything just directly for you. It's directly directed to you. It's directly personalized anyway. So click the link in the description if you guys want to learn more. If you guys want to go more in depth with everything. And if you guys want a community of people like you. And let's just grow together. Let's learn together. And hope you learned something. Peace out.